Okay, regripping your golf clubs. Very simple, very straightforward, something you can do at home very easily. But there's a few things that you just don't want to do when you're trying to put a grip on. So this video today is all about 3 things to never do when you're trying to regrip your golf clubs. Let's go. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a wonderful day. So we are going to get right into these 3 things that you never ever want to do when you are regripping your golf clubs, because best case scenario, it's going to slow you down, it's going to make the process a lot harder and longer. Worst case scenario, you may have to end up cutting off and losing perfectly good grips because they don't go on the right way. So first off, let's talk about tape. Okay, the first thing you never want to do is use too much grip tape or too much masking tape, any of the tapes. Some people are just going to go, they'll get a piece of tape, they won't measure out how long it is, and they'll just slap it on the club, just like this, put it on, and say, okay, we're ready to go. The problem is, if the grip tape is too long, when you go to actually put the grip on, what you end up with is something that looks like this. Grip tape hanging out below the bottom of the finished grip. And this is, when it comes to regripping, probably the most obvious sign that the person does not really know what they're doing, because they didn't measure the tape out correctly, they got too much tape, and now the grip does not cover it. So once you get to this point, you've only got a couple options. You can either try and tear this off or cut it off when it's wet using a utility knife, and that works fine if you've got a steel shaft. If you've got a graphite shaft, obviously you don't want to be taking a utility knife and trying to cut this off while it's wet. So you have to wait for it to dry and then just sort of work it, peel it, maybe real carefully get a utility knife and deal with it. Adds a lot of time, adds a lot of hassle, and if you don't deal with it, you get something that looks like this, which just looks like a hack job. So how long should your piece of tape be? Well, just get whatever grip you're using and cut the piece of tape to the exact same length as that grip. That is going to ensure that you have the right length of tape for your particular grip. These grips can vary a little bit in size, so you just want to go off whatever grip you're using and get it the same length. Once you do that, and we put the tape on the shaft, and remember, we always want to hang a little bit, like a ½ inch or maybe slightly more, of tape off the end of the shaft, so that once we put it on and we wrap it around, then we can twist it and basically cap off this hole so we don't get dirt and things like that inside the shaft. Once we do that, you can see that grip is now going to be the perfect size, or that tape is going to be the perfect length for that grip, so that we get tape all the way down, we get a good uniform consistent size, and we don't have our tape sticking out past the end. Okay, second thing to never do when you're regripping your golf clubs, and that is being chintzy with the grip solvent. Do not be afraid to use as much grip solvent as possible. The worst thing you can do at this point is to just go and, oh, I'll just put a couple drops on and that should be fine. I don't want to waste the grip solvent. You're not going to waste the grip solvent. Remember, you can catch this grip solvent, get a pan, get a bucket, get something, catch the drip and reuse it. You can use it over and over and over again. You can use a little bottle like this, probably, I don't know, 50 clubs, 60 clubs, something like that. If you keep catching it, it's not going to go bad. So don't be afraid to use it. The worst thing you can do at this point is not use enough solvent. So whatever grip you're using, and especially if you know it's a grip that's a little bit harder to get on, maybe a stiffer grip or a wind style grip, something like that, use as much of this as possible. Go ahead, get a good amount, load it into the grip, really fill it up in there, shake it around, and then make sure you get that tape good and wet and drippy so that you know that that grip's going to slide on without an issue. Okay, finally, and you never ever want to do this one, and I see this one, I've seen this one numerous times, is stop. You don't want to stop. Now, what do I mean by stop? Well, let me show you. So say you've got a grip like this that's got, you know, a fair number of little alignment type things on it. It's got a notch here, it's got a little line here, it's got the logo on it, it's got notch up at the tip. And so you're really trying to focus in on getting everything nice and straight and lined up. Or you've got a putter grip maybe, and you're trying to really focus and make sure that putter grip is perfectly straight. It's not maybe twisted a little bit up at the top or down at the bottom. And so what ends up happening is people will go and they'll go to put the grip on, and they'll start it, and they'll get about halfway, and then they'll be like, well, let me look. Let me adjust it right now. It's not all the way on yet, but I want to make sure that it's not crooked. I want to make sure it's not sideways. You never want to stop. Once you start putting the grip on, you just go. You do not stop, because if you stop, the chances that that grip is going to seize up and get stuck, and you're not going to end up getting that grip all the way on the shaft, are so much higher. So never stop. Once you start getting that grip on, just keep going with it. This is even more important, again, with grips that can be a little trickier, like a wind grip, or maybe you've got, say, a long putter and you've got like one of those long 18-inch grips, something like that. Those are definitely cases that once you get started, you just have to go. You just have to run that thing until the entire grip is on there. Otherwise, it can very easily get stuck. Remember, if you're worried about getting it lined up just so, getting all the little lines and notches or the reminders or the putter grip flat side perfectly lined up, you've got, once the grip is on here, you've got time. You've got 30 seconds, you've got a minute or more in some cases that you can play around with it. You can adjust everything a little bit, make little minor modifications, and get everything perfectly lined up the way you want it. But you only want to do that once that grip is all the way on the club. Okay, there you go. 3 things that you never want to do when you are re-gripping your golf clubs. Re-gripping, very simple, very straightforward overall. And if you avoid these 3 things, you will be very fast, very proficient, and very professional with your re-gripping jobs. If you enjoyed this video, please go down below, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you'll be alerted when I post new videos. You can find me on Instagram. I'm at Mobile Club Maker, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.